In today's video, I am going to be breaking down a couple of plays that you can run against a 3-2 zone defense, and these are actually very good plays that you can run. So if you find yourself playing up against a lot of 3-2 zones, you could probably implement one of these plays. So let's get down and let's check them out. Really quickly, make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book that will double the low post and trap the corners without leaving anybody open. Okay, so the whole main idea behind a 3-2 is to be able to essentially cut off a lot of shooting potential, but there are a lot of weaknesses in the 3-2 zone. One of the weaknesses is skip passes to the corners and also collapsing the defense in one of these gaps. How you can do that actually works out really well, and one of the ways that I have been able to be successful on these zones is just by simply having player 1 drive on player 1, the top defender, because that is going to collapse these two defenders, potentially even a third in player 5. When this happens, we can kick that ball out, and in a simple 5-out drive kick offense, player 4 now drives, that collapses these two players, and that allows player 2 to have the wide open 3 in that corner. So, by simply driving, kicking the ball out, driving again, and then kicking the ball out again, you are potentially going to be able to get yourself an open 3-point shot. Another great option that you can have is to set a screen down on player 5, have player 1 dribble out towards this left side, which draws player 2 as a defender, and then you will have player 2 who is wide open to blue for the open 3-point shot. Now these are just some simple quick hitters that you can run against a 3-2 zone. This next play is a little bit more in-depth and is a little bit more difficult, but can still be ran with a lot of younger teams. So we're going to start with the ball out on the wing, still in the 5-out offense. I personally love the 5-out against zones. I know a lot of coaches don't like that, and some coaches will look down upon it and say that I'm dumb, but this is why I actually like it. So the zone is going to be shifted most likely like this, and you're going to have either player 2 right on player 1 or he's going to be behind the 3, one or the other. But if player 1 is a good shooter, and you're kind of hoping that in this play player 1 is, he's going to be as a defender stretched out beyond the 3-point line. I want to then have a pass over to player 2, and I want player 5 and 3 to set screens on player 3 red and 4 red. By setting these screens and having player 1 cut through, we are now going to have the opportunity for player 1 to be absolutely wide open for that 3-point shot. And then the best part is, let's say for example, these guys fought around the screens and they're trying to contest that shot. Well, now player 1 may have the option to pass to player 3 who could then drive. Obviously player 5 red is going to be collapsing down, but we may have a high to low post pass from this situation. We may have a just straight to low post pass as well. There's a couple of different options, but I'm going to tell you right now, at least 3 to 5 times in the game, if you run this play, you're going to get an open 3-point shot. And one of the best ways that you can get a team out of a zone is by either attacking those gaps and getting out those easy layups, because if you're beating their zone, they're just going to pull out of it anyways. But the fastest way to pull somebody out of a zone is to hit a couple of threes on them fast. And if you can do that, most coaches will say, well, I can't run this zone, I'm going to try something else. Now, this is one that I actually really like, and I know, again, there's a lot of coaches who are going to say, why would you run this? But I actually love it. There's 2 ways of doing this. You can do this on the right or left side, but I'm going to show you the left side first. So we're going to have player 4 set this screen on player 2. That's going to lift player 5 up. This is going to be lifting up this defense and shifting it over. At this time, we're going to have player 1 use 4 as a screen, and player 1 is then going to be essentially in a situation where he could go one-on-one on player 5. If he's got the speed, he could get to the rim, collapse the defense, kick it out to the opposite side for a 3. That's an option. Another option is to have player 4 do a short roll, where now you're forcing player 5 to guard player 1. player 4 red is going to be covering the middle of that key. You have now essentially collapsed the defense. We can have a quick pass to player 4, and then player 5 blue can cut baseline, and we can have that pass down to player 5 for that layup. By sending a simple screen and roll on that wing, you can really mess up a zone defense as long as you get it to that roll man, or somehow, some way, you get that ball into the key. Now let's say we run this from the opposite side, so having a screen on the right side by player 3. When player 3 sets this screen, we want player 1 to attack and engage this top defender. The reason being is by him attacking and engaging this man, we have an option. We could hit player 3, who may have a slight window to be open, but this is not our number one option. We want player 1 to attack this gap right here. If we can get player 1 to attack this gap, now we have the opportunity to kick that ball out to player 5. We could kick that ball out to player 2 for open 3-point shots. We could make the extra pass from player 2 to player 5. Personally, if player 2 got it, I would want him to drive. That's going to collapse these guys, and this is literally wide open. So there's a couple of ways that you can attack a 3-2 zone and be super successful. Obviously, you're going to need some shooters, you're going to need some slashers, but these plays will work absolutely fantastic for you. Make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book that is down in the description below. These tactics will not work against it. And make sure to also go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense. A lot of these plays that I showed you in this video were predicated around the 5-out, so make sure to definitely go check that out. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Hit that like button and subscribe.